Welcome back to Stamping at the Warren, and I'm Kim Tolton, and today I am going to show you how to use the pillow box die from Stampin' Up, which is that big, to make a double length pillow box. And I've got some examples here for you, so just so you can have a look. This is done with basic black cardstock and some, I think it's the Home for Christmas, and then the sentiment and some gold cording trim. So that's that one. There's one here that I've done in the opposite way, so it's this way round, and that's Home for Christmas papers again. And another Home for Christmas one with a lovely Bambi looking one here, and I've put a little red dot on top of the snowflake element there, and most of the labels are made by punching out the decorative label, and then I punch a second one out from a contrasting or complementary one from behind, and I just layer them up at a slight angle. And then this is the last one, which is very simply done, and this is the other, and for some reason I can't remember the name, but this is the other main designer series paper. I will make sure that it's on my blog anyway when it gets published. So those are the boxes, and normally they're half that length, so like that. So that's the sort of size that they would be. Now, how you manage to do this: normally you would cut 2 of these and you would assemble your box from there, but we're actually going to need to die cut 4, and I'm just showing you how to do the box and put a belly band around it, and that's it today. And then another time we'll sort of perhaps go through variations. So what I've done is I've already trimmed a piece of cardstock, just A4, down in half, so that this will fit on here. And the sandwich you want to use for your big shot, really and truly, you do ideally want the magnetic platform for this this project. But it's not essential, but it does make life much easier. So what you would have is your magnetic platform. If you don't have a magnetic platform, then obviously use your multi-purpose platform that came with your big shot. Then goes an acrylic cutting plate, then you put your cardstock down, and then you put your die down. And the reason you really need this magnetic platform is you really want this held in fast. So if you're used to using post-it notes or masking tape to hold your dies in place, you know, that's down to you and your choice, and we all like the way that we choose to do things. I have to say the best thing that ever happened with after I joined Stampin' Up was the magnetic platform. It just made life so much easier and so fewer miscuts. Right, so I'm going to put this through the big shot. I've already cut 3 others here, and this is a basic black one, so I'm going to just cut you off for a moment, and I'm going to die cut this one, and then we'll assemble the box. Right, I'm back. So you just want to remove the waste. Make sure you put your die away. There are supplementary dies. I haven't used them today, but I will do when I come to actually doing more to do with decorating your pillow boxes. And your big shot can go, your bits for your big shot can go out of place. Right, the really important part for this one is to score, well, not score, but to fold and burnish the tabs on the sides of all 4 pieces. So they're not identical, so you can see there's a tab on one side, so you just want to burnish that tab. last one. And this tab is a really important part to how you're going to assemble the box. Next you want to run a piece of tape along that edge there, so I'm using tear and tape, and you want to do that on each piece. I haven't done that properly, have I? Oh yes I have. There's a light on it. I thought I'd mis-scored or missed burnishing it properly. And the last one. And then your next job is going to be Tombow. And fold your tabs out, and you want two pieces, and you want that tab to be on the same side. I better put tape on different sides, look, probably. Dear. Right, so this is the way that you want it to be. So best thing I found was Tombow to join this bit. You don't need lots of the stuff, just round, and then make sure that your tab is there and the tab is there, and then you just follow the score lines and line them up. Don't worry about that blob, that will dry clear. It's going to be the inside of the box. Okay. Pop a piece of tape on here. I've done it the wrong way round. Right, so that's one. And you do just the same with this one. Make sure the tabs are on the same side. And then you glue round. So you're just following the score lines and the cut lines and just a wiggle in between. You don't want too much Tombow, otherwise it will make a big Tombowy mess. And then line up with that bottom edge, score line, follow it up and round to meet the score line at the top. Give it a good rub. And then whilst that is gluing, right, just whilst it's sticking nice and fast, get your scoring board out, your scoring tool out with the metric plate in place. It will help you. Oh, for goodness sake. My scoring board, it's just as well these things are robust, because I'm forever throwing my scoring board and scoring tool around. Now I've cut a piece of this designer series paper, which is the one I can't remember. Should have written it down, but I didn't. Anyway, it's 12 inches long, or 30 centimeters, and then you're going to score at 10.5. So I'm just going to move it along just a tad. This is more of a guide, and then 21. And just fold and just gently. You don't want to do it hard. And that is all the scoring. And you just want to pop a piece of tape along one end. There you go. And pop that to one side. Bring our pieces of box back. And now is a matter of putting pieces of the box together. So again, you want everything facing the same way, and you need to, like that, so everything looks exactly the same, all facing the same way, all folded the same way. Take off 2 pieces of the tape, so the top and the bottom piece of one side. There you go. I find it easier if I've got it this way because it's quite a long piece of card to match up, and I find I get a better view. So you want to line to that edge and to that edge. Give a good press. Just check that fold and give it a bit of a burnish. You've got double the thickness of cardstock now. And next you want to take off these 2 pieces, the covering on these 2 pieces of tape. Hope you're keeping up with me. If you're not, just ask questions, please do. You can leave questions in the comments box below today's video. And then you have a double length pillow box, and then you can just pop your hand inside just to give it a bit of a squeeze. And then these edges here, now with the basic black cardstock it's really easy because basic black cardstock in general is thicker than most other cardstocks, except for things like foiled cardstock, and therefore it holds its shape and it's easier to burnish this just with your fingers. You do want to be gentle because obviously you don't want those edges creased, and then fold it the same way so the same side goes in first. It just gives a nicer finish at the end. I'm actually using these in place of crackers this year. So there you are. And this is a piece of designer series paper, and you just wrap it round. So this is just making a belly band, and it will still be able to move. So take that covering off, line up your paper, isn't that pretty? You wouldn't even know that that's a box, 2 boxes that have been basically stuck together. What I did ahead of time is I used the Oh What Fun stamp set here, and all the sentiments I've stamped today are in that, and I've used, because the archival inks, when you use stays on cleaner it can damage the photopolymer, I've used chocolate chip for doing all the stamping, so although it's going on black it won't show up as not black, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So pop your sentiment down, and I use the 2-inch circle punch to punch out the sentiment, and then I use a 2.5-inch scallop circle punch in silver foiled cardstock to punch out the back to that. So I take the backing off. It's got a few dimensionals on the back, and then just offset your sentiment a little bit so it overlaps. I think it gives it a classy look, and plenty of silver foil cord-in trim. So wrap it round a couple of times. Be generous. As especially if you're making them in, like I am, into luxury crackers. And I think these are a really good substitute for standard crackers. Do yourself a nice bow. And I haven't sealed the ends so they can be easily opened. And you can actually stick those edges down with a glue dot once you've finished. And then I'm just going to finish with another type of snowflake, just because it goes quite nicely with the snowflake papers on there. And that is the box completed. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing that. If you have any questions about putting the two boxes together or putting the dies together in general, just drop me a line. There will be a full tutorial on my blog at www.stampingatthewarren.blogspot.co.uk, and you can leave comments, as I say, in the section below. There's also all my social media information in the show more section, so you can find your chosen method to keep track of what I'm up to. And I look forward to talking to you again, hopefully tomorrow. I'll speak to you then. Ta-ta for now.